Istana. Kayena wacha cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame bante buri panya tata kata kayena wacha cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame dhamma sanditika akalika kayena wacha cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame sangga supatipana anuttara sadhu sadhu sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tisarana gamanang paripunang panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adina dana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Abrahmacharya veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Sura meraya majja pamadatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Vikala bhojana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Nacha Gita Wadita Visukadasana Malaganda Vilepana Dharana Mandana Vibhusanatthana Veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Uccasayana Mahasayana Veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Idang me silang magapala nyanasa pachayo hotu appamadena sampadeta sa. All right, let us do some guided metta. When we sit here, we let go of all the notings on the vipassana objects. Just keep the mind present, calm and peaceful. Let the body relax. Relax from top of the head to the forehead, face, neck, to the shoulders and arms, to the chest area, stomach area, to the hips, to the buttocks, thighs and knees and calves, ankles, soles, toes. So relax the whole body. Keep the mind open, clear, calm and peaceful. May I be free, free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May I be peaceful. May I be able to live in peace with myself and in peace with others. May I be well. May I be healthy. May I truly be happy. May I be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May I be peaceful. May I be well. May I be healthy. And may I truly be happy. Now let us expand. Let us expand our loving kindness to all the beings around here, monks and nuns, fellow yogis, to the Dharma workers, helpers, volunteers, to the sponsors and donors, to all the garden devas of this center, to all other devas residing in this neighborhood, and to all the petas and all the animals, big, small, far or near, seen or unseen. May all of us here be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May we all be peaceful, be well, be healthy, and may all of us truly be happy. So may all of us here be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May we all be peaceful. May we all be well. And may we all truly be peaceful, truly be happy. Now let us spread our metta, spread our goodwill, good thoughts to all the people, to all the beings in this country. May they be human or non-human. May the devas or petas, animals, big, small, far or near, seen or unseen. May they all be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May they all able to live in peace. May they all able to be well, be healthy, and may they all truly be happy. May all beings in this country be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May they all be peaceful. May they all be healthy. And may they all truly be happy. Now let us spread our metta, our goodwill to all the beings in this world, to all beings, humans or non-humans, whether our loved ones near or far away, to all the people whom we do not know wherever they are, and to those whom we dislike or those who dislike us, and to all the guardian devas of the Buddha Sasana, to all other devas residing in this world, to all the petas, to all the animals, big, small, far or near, seen or unseen. May all beings in this world be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May they all be peaceful. May they all able to live in peace and not in war. Live with kindness and compassion and not in cruelty or violence. May all beings be well. May they all be healthy. And may all beings truly be happy. May all beings in this world be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May all beings be peaceful. May they all be well and healthy, and may all beings truly be happy. Now let us expand further. Expand our goodwill to all beings without exception. To all beings from this universe or universes, all beings from the highest planes of existence down to the lowest planes, and all the beings in all the world systems. May all beings without exception be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May all beings be peaceful. May they all able to live in peace with themselves and in peace with others. May all beings be well, be healthy, and may all beings truly be happy. May all beings without exception be free from all kinds of harm and danger, free from all mental suffering, free from all physical suffering. May all beings be peaceful. May they all be well. And may all beings truly be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May they all be well, be healthy, and may all beings truly be happy. Now we slowly let go of the metta. We bring the attention back again to the body. Feel the rise and fall of the abdomen. Feel the whole body here, right now. Then we can slowly open our eyes. Okay. So on Tuesday, what did I talk on Tuesday? I can't remember. Sīla. I want to talk about something, 7 factors of enlightenment or something like that. Anyway, now I think I talk about something that 7 factors of enlightenment arises because of 4 foundation of mindfulness. You develop the 4 foundation of mindfulness, then the 7 factors of enlightenment arises. And these 7 factors of enlightenment, they are the noting mind. Clear, sharp, strong noting mind, calm, but not too calm, energetic, but not too energetic. Everything is in the balance. So the noting mind comes because we develop the 4 foundation of mindfulness. The objects of 4 foundation of mindfulness, then you put them together, we note them, we see the things truly as they are. But the arising of this 4 foundation of mindfulness is because of we have we abandon the 3 wrong, in the sense of the wrong actions, wrong speech, and wrong thoughts. And these 3 wrong things that we abandon is because of we restrain on the central senses. We restrain on the senses. So because of that, then we build upon the development. So actually, I wanted to talk about the area of Sīla, which including the restraining of the senses, then also the abandon of the wrong actions, wrong speech, and wrong thoughts. Somewhere about a week or 2 ago, so at least I got 1 or 2 weeks more to talk. Now a little bit xiong hei, so I can talk a lot nowadays. Then it gets longer and longer, the talks now. But it's okay. It's okay. It's still all right. Yeah. But since because of we touch upon that, so I think it will be good that we touch upon it a little bit on the Sīla, maybe a talk or 2 or a little bit more. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. Now, when it comes to the Sīla, as the as what we are supposed to as a foundation for all our development. Yeah, but also it will be good that we understand the Sīla a little bit more deeper, so that it actually becomes a foundation for the mental development. Because if you don't actually, in the sense that direct the Sīla for the mental development, then of course it will still be good, but it will give you happiness, worldly happiness. Because you see, a lot of times when we talk about Sīla, virtue, morality in that sense, we thought that all religion and all good things talk about the same thing. In a way, yes, but it's on the surface, it's the same thing. But behind it can be very different. How the Sīla is being motivated by what? By what is being motivated to perform the Sīla, or to abandon certain wrong things, or to do certain right things. What does it being motivated upon? Well, that also, it will be good for us to know, because that it helps us to able to understand our actions, our speech, our thought. Therefore, we bring those things into the mental development. Then it becomes very helpful. Yeah? So before we talk about those things, because before about those things, we talk about generally about the nature of this Sīla. Yeah? Now, when we look at Sīla as a whole, don't worry about whether it's under what the Buddha thought and so on, on the surface, on the surface. The Sīla is generally, you can divide it into two parts. One is the avoidance, and the second one is the performance. That means perform. That means you have to act upon it. So the other one, the first one, you have to abandon something, right? So every of all our Sīla, virtue, falls into this category. To act upon something which is wholesome, and to abandon what is unwholesome. Okay, so with that understanding of that nature of the Sīla, then whichever religion, whether there's Dhamma, whether the Buddha thought or not, or whether other religion thought, if it falls under that, it falls under that category, then it's also Sīla. And because it abandons unwholesomeness, then it performs something wholesome. That is falls under Sīla. Of course, when we look at, like, for example, when we do our 8 precepts, 5 precepts, these type of things, then it's a kind of Sīla also, because that type of Sīla, basically it's abstaining. You avoid something. You avoid, you abandon the unwholesome ones. So the unwholesome ones for Sīla is the red line. It's a red line that you should not cross. Because if you cross the red line, then the consequences, this life or in the future lives, then it has a lot of unhappy consequences, unpleasant consequences. Rebirth in, the Buddha gave all the examples of rebirth in the woeful states. Your fame gets, even before you die, the fame gets, this one, there's a lot of fear in coming in. So these are the things that when we cross the red line, that means there's going to be a lot of consequences. The 5 precepts, for example, these are very thick red lines. Once we cross it, we breach it, and then that means we break the precepts purposefully, even whether you know it or you do not know it, whether you take up the precept, you don't take up the precept, the karma don't care. The karma cares that if you break that precept, the consequences will be like that, whoever you are or whichever being that you are. So they are very strong. So the red line that we should not cross. Now, in that sense, as a category, that what is virtue, what is wholesome, and what do we act out of the wholesomeness, and what is unwholesomeness that we prevent not to do. And also, there are things that also in a smaller category that we also learn to not to do certain things. For example, like when you come into retreat, then we avoid the singing, avoid entertainment. This type of, in the sense that they are more minor in a sense. Supposing you happen to listen to music, let's say, during retreat, and you've taken up 8 precepts. Do you think you sekali masuk into the hell or whatever? No lah, no. Which I don't think so lah, Which I don't, but I do not know how the consequence will be. But this one, it will affect the mental development. The attachment, the desire is there. But the one that comes with the 5 precepts, that one we should not do lah. But the 8 precepts also, you also got the 5 or so, isn't it? In a way that we don't cross that one. As long as we don't cross that it, and then there are smaller, minor ones that we do it, we observe it, so that we avoid those things like entertainment, luxury, and so on. So that is good. That is wonderful. So there are also wholesome deeds, wholesome actions that we have to perform. Things like falls under dana. Wholesome actions, it falls under dana. Gratitude, kindness, service, sharing of merits, listening to talks, right talks that it comes with right view, not just any listening to any Dhamma talks and then, or so-called Dhamma talks, and then the more that you hear it, the more your desire wants, or the more wrong view that you have, and that is dangerous in the name of Dhamma. And then sharing of merits, these are things. These are wholesome things. These are wonderful things. These are, you're supposed to act upon them. Act upon them. So there's a lot of wonderful things. Charity, generosity, not just only giving to offering to monks and this one, but also in other situations. So it's things like that. To avoid, to abstain, and to act upon them. Then in this nature of virtue, in the nature of this virtue, is the characteristic of this virtue is that whoever you are, whether there's Dhamma or no Dhamma, whether whether you are in this life or in other lives, whether you are human or whether you are animal, you see the nature of this Sīla, it's called coordinating your actions, your speech, and the thought. Coordinating. The word coordinating is interesting here because whether you are human, whether you're an animal, or whether you are a deva, if you're able to do giving, whichever form of giving, it cut across everything because that actions is being coordinated in such a way that it's an act of giving. You see what I mean? Whether you are a deva, or whether you are a dog, or whether you are animal, or whether you are human, the act of giving is the same. Whether you give small or you give big, it doesn't matter. But the act of giving is the same. So that's why it's called coordinating. It coordinates the actions, the mind, the speech, the thoughts. So it coordinates so that they becomes non-inconsistency or consistent. So they are consistent in that sense. So the principle is that. So whether you are, as I said, whether you are this being or that being, or whether you're a human, if it's the act of giving, there's an act of giving, the Sīla. But the act of killing also is also the same thing, Yeah. If it's killing, also the same thing. Wholesomeness, so it coordinates the body, coordinates the speech, coordinates the thought. So even with that also, with that too, when you do, as I said, the unwholesome ones, then when you act of killing or stealing, well, whichever beings you are in, if you act in that particular way, also it will be like that. Yeah? So this is what it meant by coordinating. It's characteristic. So here, this Sīla, in the whole, in the whole teachings of the Buddha, in the overall teachings of the Buddha, now Sīla is being, they categorize how you look at certain things as Sīla. And how we can able to, with our retreat now, especially with our Vipassana retreat, we can able to enhance, to make the mind even more clearer about the Sīla that we are upholding. Not only during in the retreat, but also in our back at home. But a lot of things we can learn even with the walking, sitting, and so on. Now, in the teachings of the Buddha, the commentaries, especially the Visuddhimagga, they categorize this Sīla within the four types, within the four kinds of Sīla. The first Sīla is Sīla as intention. Okay? Sīla as intention. The second type is Sīla as mental factors. Later I'll explain it a little bit more. The word is cetasika. The first one is cetana. The cetana, cetasika. The third one, virtue or Sīla as restraint. Because the word restraint is also a big category that we can able to discuss. Then the fourth one is the Sīla as non-transgression. You don't transgress certain things that you're already upholding. Okay? Now, let us look into the first one. No. Wait. If those are in doubt, what is the Sīla as non-transgression? It's like when you take your 5 precepts, when you take your 8 precepts, or you take your 227 precept, or you take whatever precept that you want to take. As long as you take the precept, you uphold the precept, because that time, let's say, there's no end for you to kill. There's no somebody for you to lie to. Or there's somebody to steal or whatever, So while you're doing it, it's called the upholding of a Sīla as non-transgression. Now, we remind ourselves so that we don't transgress the precept. Taking the precept is just a reminder that we don't transgress on those stuff, those actions. It's a reminder. It's a vow, actually. It's that we make a strong intention for those type of things. So that is what we call the non-transgression. But the one that, suppose the end is in front of you, you really don't like him. Then how? Then, but you want to kill, but you cannot kill. So that time, it's not only you uphold, then it comes to the Sīla as number one already. Sīla as intention. Okay? Sīla as intention. The Sīla as intention is that you intend, yeah, you intend to do or not to do. All right, you intend to do or not to do. So you want to kill something. You want to kill something. That time, let's say, even let's say, even you have not taken the 5%, 8%, and you never heard of 5%, 8%. Let's say, and then the end is that all the cockroaches there or something you don't like is that you want to do the killing. So that time, the intention is already there. So the intention, because it's unwholesome intention, it acts upon the actions. The actions do the killing is being done. Right? So because of the intention. Yeah. And then if you want to do performing something wholesome, also again is the intention. But the problem is with us, we don't see our intention. We don't realize that the intention is such a big impact. Yeah. The Buddha says that intention, or monks, or bhikkhus, is what I call karma. Yeah. Because everything it's the intention. Yeah. So here, the intention, yeah, although we talk about actions to perform and to do, and whoever you are, or whatever being you are, as long as that moment of time you intend not to do, then you avoid that killing, you avoid that stealing, you avoid that sexual misconduct, you avoid the thing, you avoid whatever unwholesome actions that there's could be a potential for you to do. So you avoid it because of your state of mind. You want to prevent these type of things. It doesn't have to have dhamma or whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, there are people who are like that out there, they don't have dhamma, they don't have this one, but they just don't want to do the unwholesome actions. So on the wholesome side, also the same thing. There are people even without dhamma, without any religious background, but out of their heart, they want to perform something. They want to perform something because it's good to perform something. It's wholesome to perform something in that sense. So that their action comes with intention. No? But that's not all, because where do we do our intention now? How will be your, before you walk, note your intention, then you start walking. Before you stop, sometimes I say, note your intention before it stops. So how does all these things tie back to our virtue then? Yeah. And that also will be, also be interesting for us to know. You see, intention, sometimes it may not just be the moment you want to do, the intention only there. Sometimes your intention already begins maybe an hour ago already, or maybe a day ago, maybe a century ago already, or maybe some years back already. The intention begins in that sense. Say, for example, you want to, let's say the bad person, if you watch movie a lot, then they plan, let's say, they want to kill the person on a certain time. Then they do all the planning already. But the intention already start some time back already. You want to harm somebody, you want to do something bad, or you want to do some dana in good. Next week I want to go for a dana. That means you intend. The intention already begins already at that time. That means the intention is back, although the action is not there yet. But sometimes the intent also come out in the mouth already as a speech, but the actual action has been not done yet. So, but we don't see those things as part of our intention, as part of the motive. Yeah. We don't normally see that. We just thought it's just thoughts only, but it's actually intention that the actions will come much more later in another time. Mm? Now, now, in the practice also, now it will be good that during our walking, especially during our walking and also during our daily activities, we know the intention as much as we can. Uh, especially when there's a starting to walk, we know the intention. We know the intention, and then after that, when it comes to a stop, almost sometimes to a stop, then we can notice the thoughts that arises. Then after that, few more steps, then it comes to a stop. Uh, Sometimes during the walking also, we note intention, then it's the leg starts to move. But sometimes we note the intention, the leg still don't want to move. How? What are you going to do? Then stay there lah. Stand there first. Sometimes the yogi, just because they not intention, they must think that it must move already. But sometimes it doesn't happen like that. Sometimes you have to note it a few times, not a few times, then only start moving. How come like that? Because sometimes the intention maybe is not in the sense that it's immediate. Then in the practice, as our mind gets more sharper, clearer, noticing all the movements and so on, and especially it comes to the second insight. Insight of what? Insight of knowledge of conditioning. The knowledge of conditioning. When we see what is being conditioned by what is conditioning what object is conditioning what object. And as we get deeper into this practice, the intention becomes much more clearer to the yogi rather than just only a mental label. It's not just only a mental label, but it's much more clearer that it's actually you feel that there is a consciousness that arises. The consciousness that arises, then it disappears, then the leg starts moving, or the hand starts moving, or you start getting up, or you start getting down. Or sometimes you know the intention, then only the hand starts pushing out to noticing the turning of the doorknob. Yeah? The mind is already knows that it wants to go through the door to wherever we want to go to. From here, you want to go to the dining. The intention is already there. You already know that, oh, I'm going. Then going where? Going to this one. Going to the hall. Then the mind makes the intention, then you start walking. Intention to walk. Then you start walking. Then it comes into opening the door and so on. But the mind is already wanted to go to this one. Sometimes it's good that we check on this type of thoughts also, not just only on just beginning to walk and only walking only. Yeah? And then also it comes as sometimes as a thought, just as a sentence in our minds that okay, now going there, going for makan. Yeah. So you sit down, tong, or breakfast time. I'm going to go there. So at least know first, know that this one, it will be good. Take note of that state of mind, because that state of mind, although it looks like just a thought that is passing through, it's already an intention that's going through that, So it's good that for us to take note. Even sometimes when you sit down, then after that, you start planning about what you're going to do at home. And you get involved into it. sometimes it's a form of intention. That, yeah, do want to do this, you want to go there, you want to makan this, you want to makan that, you want to plan this and that. Then that means that the planning also has got to do with certain intention is involved. But it's where the mindfulness comes in. We override the whole intention. Because why? Maybe it's unwholesome. Maybe it's unnecessary. Maybe it's, well, we can go back and plan. Then another state of mind override the whole thing. Yeah. So override the whole thing. Then we stop that thought from getting more further. So we stop that thought getting more further. We come back to our practice of what is going on. That means if you're aware of it, the planning the thoughts is a kind of intending to do something, but the wholesome mind overrides it so that it stops the whole thing. It doesn't getting more, it gets back to our meditation objects. So it's wonderful. It's good in that sense. Yeah. So the planning the thoughts that come in, although it looks random, but the mind is actually know what it wants. Your desire behind that, it know what it wants. So it will be good that sometimes you take note of things. Sometimes you want to know your character, what type of character you are. Whether you have a lot of ego, a lot of desire, a lot of hatred, a lot of sadness, a lot of this or that. You see what type of thoughts normally come into you. Suppose you love food one. Then you sit down every time the imagination, not all the time, but a lot of time the imagination come about food. You're planning here, you close your eyes, food in front of you. Desire. And then people who are perhaps like when they have a base of hatred root. Many times I said, all these type of thoughts, I said, you don't get involved into it. You want to get involved into it, then more thoughts will come, isn't it? But you cannot avoid looking at them. They're in front of you all the time. And they keep on coming. So if you are more like a hatred, then a lot of your thoughts are like very unpleasant. Today, song that you don't like that one, you don't like this one, you don't like this, you don't like that, you don't like the fan, you don't like the sound, you don't like this. You just something it makes you unpleasant. Then you know that over time, it's not like one retreat you're going to know, but over time, you kind of know that what type of thoughts coming in. Yeah. Or if you are that ego type of person, then the type of thought is connected with you. You are in the picture or you are in the imagination. Then that you inside there, like for example, let's say you want to be the hero inside. There's somebody having problem, or somebody having disease, or somebody fall down, and then you are the yin hong, the hero come or at the right time save the person. All your imagination is playing inside there. Then you save the person, you feel good. Then after another time, you also be inside the thought, that you are helping somebody, you're there. Although it looks like wholesome thought, but you're always there, center of the picture. Then after you help already, and then you feel good again. You want to be the hero, heroine, and all that thing. So it all depends. It all depends on what type of character you are and how your mind inclined into those type of things. Then this type of thoughts arises. So as I said, many times you don't get involved into the story that much. Because if you get involved into the story, your mental inclination, your mental disposition, it will keep on going into that particular track because it's habitual to you. So it's habitual to you, it's keep on going there. So we try not to fall into it as much as possible, but we cannot avoid that knowing what type of thoughts arises. So it's interesting actually, then we begin to know our nature of our state of mind. Then with that, sometimes understanding this a little bit, then when we go out, then at least hopefully we can handbrake a bit our desire, our nature and so on. Some people don't realize even like in society, in Buddhist society or in the company or in the wherever you are, there are people who want to be the center of attention. Sometimes they talk and so on. They want the people to listen to them. Sometimes I notice devotees are talking to me. While they are talking each other, but there are also other devotees around, sitting beside it. So sometimes they talk to me. Then after talk. Then after that, he begin to look at other people. He begin to look at other people as if like he also want to have the conversation to join in also, And then you see, he begin to try to notice that whether other people is having the attention while he's talking to me or not. So his head is already looking here, looking there already, I already know your action already, but I let you talk, because I can, this a bit of psychology too, your actions and how you speak and how you act. A lot of times I know what you're doing, but I don't want to spoil the mood. Yeah. Sometimes I want to spoil the mood, but once in a while I do but I felt that it's a bit too much already, then I stop it already. There are people like that. There are people, they don't realize that these things are happening, these things are happening. But anyway, what is important is that we begin to understand our nature of our inclination, our minds, our thoughts, and all this type of intention that we take note of, then it becomes very helpful for us. While we are noticing this intention in the practice, like in the walking, in the sitting, in the daily activities, when we note this intention, it's able to follow through. The follow through is important because the follow through is the continuity of the mindfulness. So you know the intention, the hand starts moving or the leg starts moving. Then the legs that start moving or the hands that start moving, usually there's mindfulness into it. Usually, most of the time, there's continuity of mindfulness into it. So intention is important, to note this intention. And the more that you note this intention, as I said, back to the second knowledge again, as it gets into maturity, you begin to see that that's every minor movements that you act upon, the mind comes first, then only the actions. And this mind that comes in as an intention, it comes in quite a lot, or unable to count on it, uncountable. So sometimes, for example, a yogi, they may notice that the hands is just moving. The hands is just moving. If normal, we not notice that the hand is just one movement only. But if that knowledge, usually it can see that the hand is not a smooth movement. It move, stop, move, stop, move, stop, move, stop, move, stop, move, stop, move, stop. Then every time it starts to move again, the mind comes first. Then it moves. Then it stops again. Then the mind comes again, moves again, comes again, move again. So that means a single moment of a movement, then the intention is quite a lot. They see intention, a series of intention and its corresponding movement. So just that simple movement of an arm, a simple movement of arm, not only just the simple movement of, and then also the lifting, pushing, dropping, and so on. Every lifting, pushing, dropping, the mind comes first. Then the whole lifting is being, perhaps for some yogis, it's being divided into even more minor movement, and every minor movement, it proceeds with an intention. The thoughts come first. So even like so many movements that you go through, then there's so many intention that is involved inside that. You know? That is an interesting thing, because here, when you are paying attention to these things, then the aspect, the perception of non-self, not I one, but it's only conditioning, mind conditioning the body. So the knowledge of conditioning. Yeah, it sees the knowledge of, it sees the action very clearly. It sees the mind, it sees the action very clearly. And that is important, that we see all these things. Then when you see that these actions, like every small little single actions, that there's a lot of intentions that is involved into it, your movements, this one involved into it. Then with that, that understanding, you make it what we call inferential insight. Inferential means that it's not just only what you see, but what you see right now happens in that way. But inferential means in other times also, in the past, in the future, in the present, whether you are mindful or not mindful, intention always occurring inside there. That means you extrapolate your whole understanding due to your direct observation of what is going on inside there. Okay? Now, a lot of times, devotees is that they don't see the insight, but they see a lot of, because of we read from the Dhamma and so on, then we already have a certain idea that this is happening, something like that, perhaps, I know. But when we look from the perspective of direct vipassana, then the understanding is so much more deeper, so much more deeper when you can able to see it for yourself. You may not see this intention, then it gives rise to karma in the future. Let's not so far away. We don't see like here intention and then whether I'm going to reborn as a dog or a cat or a deva. No, not so far away. No, it's more like immediate. But because of this immediacy that we're able to notice these type of things, and also that we notice there's so many intentions that's coming together with those things, then because of this seeing all this conditioning, then we begin to understand the workings of karma much more deeper, and compared to a person who just only think about the workings of karma or reading about the workings of karma. Then because of that, it makes the mind so much more clearer about what is going on with our lives. Sometimes the Buddha mentioned, like one single act of killing, reborn in the hell for so long. Then mana boleh? Think about it. One act only. How come so long is the resultant? One. But why? Why is this so powerful? Why is it so powerful? Then here, because an action of that killing is so many uncountable intention from your beginning of that thought for killing. Follow it with your slowly moving. I mean, I slow down the whole process. I know when you want to kill something, you're not going to be that slow, isn't it? No. it's like in the movie you see something very slow. That if happen if you understand this. So every little small little movement that's taking place, intention is always there. That means intention is always there. You keep on producing all the karma as, as giving up. And then by the time you pop, and then you're happy about it some more. Then the whole mind is keep continuing in all those things. So although it looks for us is a single action, but all the intention is happening, everything. Every little single intention is producing all the unwholesome resultant. So that's why a single resultant reborn in woeful states, and it's no joke, Yeah, you understand what I mean? So it is good that for us to understand how the intention, at least how it works. Now, it will be better. I mean, it will be even more better. I mean, sorry. It will be a bonus, not to say better. It will be a bonus. If you don't have it, does not matter. If you have a bonus, like certain people, not many, but we read in the suttas that there are people who can know certain actions that you do, what resultant that you're going to take place, what rebirth that you're going to take place. Or you can able to see your past, things that you have done, and then how come you are so rich now, or you're so poor right now, or whatever their consequences or happiness or unhappiness is have right now. That means this is a kind of special knowledge. This is kind of a psychic power due to the samatha development. One of the abhijnana, one of these 6 kinds of supernormal powers. That one of the powers that you can able to see actions of the past that give rise to this one. You can see the big picture. You can see the big picture of how karma takes place. But if the person doesn't practice vipassana, he cannot see how the small picture that's happening. For us, we see the small picture. We see the conditioning of everything, but we cannot see the big picture of everything. But if you have both, small and big also you see, then will be good. Yeah. But what is important here is whether you see it or not. In the big picture sense, where this action then give rise to this resultant in whichever rebirth that is going to go through. Even you have that knowledge, it still is not able to bring you out of samsara. That knowledge, that type of supernormal power, it may not help you to get out samsara. In fact, that sometimes that type of knowledge, it becomes a burden. Let's say, if I have this power, let's say, then after that, somebody pass away. Bante, where is my mother born? Even I can see, let's say, then I'll be so busy already. Then this is your mother, then after that, the sister, then the father, then the best friend, buddy. That's what happened to the Buddha. Sometimes I want to read in the suttas that somebody died, Ananda will come and ask him, so ask the Buddha, so this monk passed away, so what type of rebirth is going through? Then the Buddha said, oh, this one no more rebirth already. That was the last rebirth already, Arahant already, gao liao, finished liao, the story, the whole thing. But sometimes there are beings, there are other devotees and so on. They are not eradicate all the defilements yet. Then they ask the Buddha, so where they reborn? Then the Buddha says, hayo, like that. I didn't say hayo, but but wearisome. wearisome. Every time somebody pass away, then you come and ask me and all that thing. It's a bit wearisome. So if you have those type of things, and then this type of thing, I said, it does not, whether you have it or don't have it, then doesn't matter, because if you have it, it's a bonus. Some yogis, due to their past karma, even they practice vipassana, perhaps they can bring that type of knowledge arises, but that is far and few in between. So if you can play with that knowledge so much, then you can this one with this thing, then you have no time for vipassana, because it's interesting to know, But after you know, after all, you're still in samsara. After all this knowledge of where to reborn, heaven ka, Hades ka, still samsara. After in the beginning, it's interesting because never seen before. Well, you see how they rebirth and things like that. It's interesting in the beginning, but after that, it's a burden. So for us, is the we look into the minute aspect of how this intention and this body or this mind are interacting with each other, how they conditioning with each other, because conditioning with all this type of way of how they do, then it becomes helpful in the sense that the perception of anatta becomes very deep. The direct perception of anatta is become very deep. And that is what we want, is the direct perception of anatta. Because the direct perception of anatta, then when we look at those things, it reduces or it abandons the idea of a self, the I. You begin to see that all these like thought processes, that before that you see that, oh, I am inside there, myself is inside there, my sister, my brother, my siblings, my mother, my father, my loved ones, my children. Then here, if you slowly begins to disconnect with it, then you see that these are just thought processes only. That it's a process, it's a mind created, it's a thought process only. So the I and him is like kind of like disconnected in a way. So it's good for meditation. If the thoughts that comes up, it still doesn't affect you. That you just see that the thoughts are just a mental process, passing through. So it's good. Yeah. You don't identify with them so much. So that it's, in a way, it's wonderful. So understanding this nature of this intention, and then it helps us to, again, as I said, this nature of this intention is one of the criteria where we exercise Dhamma Vichaya, or the factor of wisdom. Purposely try to note the intention in our practice, is that we begin to able to differentiate, to discern, to draw a line. This is this, that is that. Intention is intention. Movement of the body is the movement of the body. It draws the line there. And it's interesting for us to notice things. Because in this way, when we begin to break those things, due to the nature of you purposely exercise the Dhamma Vichaya, or you purposely exercise the wisdom, then in many ways in the future, it helps us to see things, especially when it comes into our Sīla, much more better. So therefore, when we can able to notice these things, then when we go out there and we certain exercise our Sīla, then it helps us to notice our mind much more clearer. Should we act upon it, or should we abandon it? Because of the mind is much more clearer in terms of whether this is wholesome or this is unwholesome. It discern it, because the mind can able to notice these type of things. So it discerned it. So even yet you want to do small actions of wholesomeness, just a giving, but your mind knows that this is a wholesome action. You know it, you act upon it. Although it looks a small thing, but because of you know the mind clearly, then it is, and I mean, actually the resultant is going to be very powerful because due to the clarity of the mind. But if you don't understand the state of mind so much, then you just act upon those things only. A small giving, let's say. But because you cannot able to differentiate between the mind and the action, then the resultant is still there, but lesser lah. No? But we don't worry about the resultant. We just worry about not to worry. The word is not worry. The word is we know, we act upon those things. Yeah? We act upon those things, that will be marvelous. That will be great. Yeah? Then also, looking at intention in a bigger scale. Yeah? Now, intention, it comes as sometimes as our motive. Sometimes it could be wholesome motives or ulterior motives, bad motives that's connected to it. Then that also will be good that if we learn how to exercise them in many things, not just only killing a cockroach or preventing yourself from killing cockroach or lying or these things, but we must look at how the intention in our daily life that is going to support us for our mental development. Yeah? Because a lot of times we use this Sīla as wholesomeness. Is for a lot of people, it's just only happiness in the everyday life. Happiness in the reborn, in the better planes of existence. The Buddha thought about that. Not to say that Buddha didn't thought about that. But the time of people understand it is because their level is there. Their level is still wholesome, I mean, they do dana and all that thing. They want good rebirth. It's fine. It's still fine. But for us as a meditator, we must realize that the craving, the attachment to rebirth, to happiness is still there. Okay? So here, therefore, when we are out there, when we go back later on, I cannot say go back because if I use the word go back in the sim, want to go back. Hey, we got one more week or more. So if you're out there, if you're out there, how we exercise our intention for the sake of spiritual development, then we ask ourselves, why are we doing these things for? What is the purpose that we are doing these things for? Is it only for the happiness of everyday life? Or is it as a foundation for our mental development? Say, for example, you take care of your health, you go exercise, you do this, you do that, you eat supplement, you exercise, you moderate your food, and so on and so forth. You control this, you control that, you go jogging, you go hiking, you go walk around in the park, you sweat out everything. For what purpose? Then those actions, our actions, are directed for what purpose? Because for most people, if you mix around in the world and also sometimes around your friends and family members, to exercise, for example, or to eat the supplement and all that is to give them good health. And their good health is for the purpose of daily happiness only, or worldly happiness only. That means if they have good health, then they can go tour, they can go makan more, they can go this thing more and that thing more. But for you to have good health, then we understand it as the good health will be helpful for our mental development. That means you direct it all the things that you are exercising and so on, so that it it have the condition so that when you come into practice, you have a very good condition. Then that sila, that actions of all the actions that you are doing, then it brings about, it becomes a condition for mental development. But side effect is that you also feel happy in the everyday life, lah, isn't it? You still have that, not that only come and retreat, you are healthy and then not healthy. You cannot know. You're still healthy, but you bring your intention to a more noble, for a noble practice, for the noble goal. You see what I mean? And then that, it makes the virtue become very strong. That virtue becomes a very strong sila, or that those actions become very strong sila, and it acts as a fundamental, it acts as a foundation for your higher mental development. You all know that if your health is no good now, then it's going to be difficult for you all to meditate. Correct or not? Even a little bit leg pain only, wow, be tahan already. Buttock pain, back pain, tau pain, here pain, there pain. A little bit also makes things, makes meditation difficult already. And as we grow older, that it will eventually will come. But nevertheless, as long as you can still able to walk, sit, eat, sleep, next day we continue again like that, and then you're still okay. A little bit here and there, a bit of high pressure, never matter. We still have to listen, but nevertheless, so as I say, small actions like that, it takes us to bring us into a more spiritual goal. That means the motive, the intention, the determination or the aditana, whatever you want to do it, then is for the purpose of higher mental development. What else that we are doing in our everyday life? For your health purpose, for example, you see the doctor, you eat this, you do this, and whatever lah. All these are fall under health lah. Let's say you want to uh, what else? What else is good for you? Even your good mental psyche also, So sometimes you need certain like social group and so on. Then you mix with those social group that is it's helpful, and those people that is connected to the Dhamma and connected to the practice, and you mix around there because of that social socialness that you are going together with them. Then that time your mind feels better. If not, your mind feels sometimes, for some people it may be quite depressive, quite down, because not many friends around. Perhaps they need to have that right type of social friends, wholesome friends. And that also, it contribute to a good psyche, good mind. When it comes to meditation, then it becomes helpful for the mental development. You mix with the wrong people, whether it's in the work or whatever, sometimes you cannot just avoid them, but there are ways later part we can talk about. Another time we can talk about it, in order for us not to fall into their trap too much. So a lot of your motives, you check out. You do certain things. Is it beneficial for the mental development or not? So you realign all your virtue and all your actions, even small or big, you realign that so that it becomes a very, it becomes for the purpose, for the noble goal. Okay? So we stop here for tonight. We'll continue tomorrow. share merits. Idang may bawa ng nibbana sa pachayo hotu. May my mental cultivation be a condition for the realization of nibbana. Imang no punya bagang sabba satanang dema. We share these merits with our departed ones, with all beings and all the devas. Sabbe satta sukhi hontu anumodantu. May all beings be happy. May they rejoice in these merits. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.